It doesn't make a difference how big or how small your puzzle collection is. For some reason, there always seems to be a few puzzles that end up on the bottom of your to-do pile. And this one here seems to be the one for me. Let's find out why. Hi, I'm Sandra from the Puzzling Canadian, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to put the spotlight on bottom of the pile puzzles. You know which ones I'm talking about. It's those puzzles. Every time you walk over to your to-do collection and you have to pick one up to put on your puzzle table, this one always ends up being overlooked. And I noticed that I was doing that for a certain amount of puzzles that I had in my collection. And I decided no longer, I'm going to get this puzzle on my table and get it assembled. The puzzle that I constantly overlooked was a puzzle that I acquired, I think, a year and a half to 2 years ago, and I did that in a trade. And the main reason I wanted this puzzle is because I love the image and I love the artist. So the puzzle that I keep overlooking is this Springbok 1,000 piece puzzle called Mediterranean Romance. And it's a Dominic Davison puzzle, which is one of my favorite artists. And that's why I wanted this image. Also, this image was an image that I haven't been able to find in some other puzzles. I did, however, find this image in an Anatolian 3,000 piece puzzle. However, I did not want to do a 3,000 piece puzzle in this image. I just wasn't in the mood for that. So when I came across this one, I picked it up. But then when I received it and I opened the box, I noticed that the pieces were random cut. Those are not my favorite type of pieces to do, but I know I can do it. So it's been in my pile for a while, and every time there was a puzzling event on Instagram, on Facebook, and I could have done it, I just passed it by, and I'm pretty sure it's had to do with those pieces. But I decided no more, we need to do this puzzle. I wanted to see this beautiful image, so I put it on my table. I'll give you a quick peek now of how it came together, this puzzle, and then I'll let you know my feedback, how I felt about it, because this is my first time completing a Springbok puzzle. And then I'll show you some other puzzles that are on the bottom of my to-do pile. So there you have it. A beautiful image by Dominic Davison. I really enjoyed the image. It was lovely. I wasn't too fond of the Springbok brand. First of all, when I was sorting the pieces, there was a lot of puzzle dust. And I've seen puzzle dust in a lot of brands, like White Mountain has puzzle dust, even Ravensburger sometime. Usually it doesn't bother me, but this one had quite a bit. Another thing the random cut is another thing that I'm not fond of, but I can get through that. But I didn't like the fact that it doesn't have that snap. I literally so many times I had to push in the pieces to make them stay. It's like you have Ravensburger, Schmidt, White Mountain, other brands, they sit there and you pop it in and you hear that little snap and it's like, it comes together nicely. But I really had to push those pieces in every time I found one. So, not my favorite brand, but I did love the image. I'm glad I finally got it on the table and I got to assemble it. It was a beautiful Dominic Davison puzzle. So now I'm going to show you some other puzzles. I have a few more that always end up going to the bottom of my pile. So the first one I have is this one right here. It's a pomegranate puzzle, 500 pieces, not that much. And I like this brand. I've done this brand before. And the first time I saw this image, I thought it was cute. But then upon closer looking at it, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of green and there's a lot of brown. I don't know how long this is going to take me. So every time I see it, this image here, it's cute. But then all this other stuff around here, I'm like, I don't know. So it's the image that ends up putting this this brand or this puzzle here at the bottom of the pile. Another one that I have is this one. Believe it or not, a Star Wars puzzle. Because if you've seen my previous video about my Star Wars puzzle collection, I have quite a few. And most of them are Ravensburger. So I purchased this in the beginning of my puzzling journey. So a few years ago, I would say 2 years ago. And it's a Buffalo brand. And even though I really do like this image here, the Buffalo brand is not my favorite brand. I know a lot of people like it, and I have done them before. I still have some in my pile. Usually they're 500 pieces. Every time I go to pick out a Star Wars puzzle, it's one of my Ravensburger puzzles, and this one always gets left behind. Again, another Dominic Davison puzzle. It's a Eurographic puzzle. And most of the Eurographics, I did do a video about this before, are ribbon cut. However, this one here is a random cut puzzle. I do like the image, but every time I, again, open it up and I see the random cut, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure I'm in the mood for a random cut today. So I still keep it in my pile because I do like this artist. It's a nice one for the Christmas season. So maybe I will get to it one time. I think I'll have to get this one on my table also. Another one that is in the bottom of my pile is this one here. It is a Gallison puzzle called Transit Graphics. And I originally picked it up in a trade and I liked the colors in here. And it was a different image. Again, every once in a while, I try to pick up images that are different for what I have currently in my collection because I'd like to try different images and challenge myself. So those are the reasons I picked it up. But now that I look at it, I'm like, sometimes I pass it by because I'm like, there's so many words and details in here. I'm not sure I'm in the mood for like all this information in the puzzles. So those are the puzzles that I have in the bottom of my to-do pile. And now I'd love to know what's in the bottom of your to-do pile, because it doesn't make a difference whether you have a small collection of 10 puzzles or a large collection of 100. There's always 1 or 2 puzzles that get pushed to the bottom, get overlooked for some reason. And I'd love to know what brand, what title, what artist are those puzzles. And perhaps even let me know, why does it always end up getting to push to the bottom of your pile? I have an Instagram account called The Puzzling Canadian, and I've already posted the Mediterranean Romance Springbok puzzle to that account. And I've also created a hashtag called Bottom of the Pile Puzzle. So if you complete one of your bottom of the pile puzzles and have an account on Instagram and post it, please add that hashtag because I'd love to see the puzzles that you have now pulled out from the bottom of your pile. I hope you enjoyed this video and perhaps it has motivated you to take a look at those puzzles that you have overlooked and start working on them. I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel. It means a lot to me. And for everybody who's taken the time out of their busy schedule just to sit here and view this video, I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, happy puzzling.